I'm going to try out a new camera now. This is, what do they call it, the Quelima SQ11 from Gear Best. I don't know whether this was a great idea. It cost me about 18 bucks, I think. So, I mean, you can't complain about the price, I suppose. But there and again, that didn't include an SD card. And I bought a 32 gig SD card for it, and that cost me 24 bucks. So, whereas the drone view came with a 4 gig SD card, which has been quite enough for any video I've taken with the drone view so far. And that was 30 bucks including it. So, and came much quicker because I got it from Hobby Wholesale. This I got from China, so it took GearBest took months to come. Anyway, we'll see. I'm going to try taking some video with it. I haven't done anything with it other than just do a quick test to make sure it was the right way up and things at home. I'm still shooting this with a Mobius now. Now I'm going to switch over and try and take a video with the SQ11 and see how it works out. I am struggling a bit with this Quelima SQ11 camera, but hopefully it's working now. We live in hopes. This is more a test of the camera, definitely, than it's a test of the plane. This plane is the UMX Waco brushless, which is a nice plane. Wet this morning and threatening. It's not windy yet. Just trying to make sure that that's the battery hatch. I'm just trying to make sure it's like everything's covered in like water today. I don't know. I don't know. What can you do? There's water like everywhere. I'm afraid.
Throttle cut off.
We'll see. So you'll see everything, the tables and everything. I don't know whether it just rained a lot in the night or whether it's just heavy dew, but everything's soaking wet this morning. I'm gonna punch him here, I guess. He's okay. He doesn't need too much punching. He's got a lot of lift. Being a biplane, he doesn't drop at all. Unlike some of the warbirds, if you take them off on the table like that, they'll drop as they go off the end. He just went straight up. And no flight modes or anything with this guy. Just isn't. And there's a little bit of wind up there, I can see. This guy just doesn't have any flight modes. He has AS3X and that's it. It's on, and you know, I mean, he's very maneuverable though, as you can see. Responds very snappily to the controls. You certainly can't complain about that. Got lots of lift. Responds extremely snappily to the controls. Just rolls like with, you know, such precision. Not a speed demon. I don't like fast planes. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying as information to people. That's full throttle. It's also hard to hold him down under full throttle. I wouldn't normally try and fly him under full throttle. You really got to give him down elevator to stop him climbing if you give him full throttle. As soon as you give him full throttle, he starts to climb. But he's very, very controllable. I'm not much of an aerobatic pilot at all, but this guy is absolutely, I mean, if you want to practice relatively he's not 3D and he's not high speed, I don't think, but if you want to practice sort of relatively low speed aerobatics, you could hardly do. Go away, bird. The birds, I'm sure the birds actually come to check the planes out. They think, oh, is this some sort of whatever, bird of prey threatening my nest or whatever, so they come and check it out. And you'll know, if there is a bird of prey, the small birds like that will fly around it to try and drive it away. You often see that, like some sort of bird of prey and a bunch of little birds flying around it, flying at it and things, trying to distract it and drive it away, because they don't want it around. I don't know whether these birds are trying to drive me away or what, but they certainly seem to have some interest in me. Yeah, I mean, if you want to sort of something to practice learning relatively low-speed aerobatics with, you could hardly do better than this, I guess. It's good for that. It's got enough power to do what it needs to do. It's got lots of lift. The sun's getting bright there because hopefully we'll evaporate some of this water eventually. No mist this morning, but lots and lots of water all over everything. Grass is soaking, tables are soaking.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
We try an outside loop. Don't like outside loops particularly. Outside loops always make me nervous, but there you go. I mean, he's perfectly capable of an outside loop. That was an outside loop. I don't know whether you could see it that clearly, but it was. I suppose I should actually study and learn some proper aerobatic maneuvers if I want to be practicing things. I don't really know much in the way of aerobatic maneuvers. I just muck around a bit and loop and roll and whatever. Knife edge is another thing you can certainly try with this guy, but I don't think I've got the energy to try knife edge right now. Nah, I don't think so.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Well, there's very vague approximation to knife edge. I'm gonna practice more another day. I don't really used. This guy is perfectly capable of knife edging. I'm just not used to doing it particularly. If I'm gonna try and learn to fly knife edge sensibly, I probably would do it with this guy. Yeah, this would probably be my choice. Virtually any normal sort of, aerobatic maneuver and things. If I want to try and learn it, this guy would be a good choice because he has very good control. And he's not too big. I mean, I've got other things which are very capable of all those maneuvers as well. Say something like the Visionaire. Well, that's actually a 3D plane. But it's entirely capable of doing low-speed aerobatics as well if you muck around with it. But if you damp it down a little bit and whatever. And I'm not going to do all the... Yeah, we should probably land this guy. I'm not going to do all the real 3D stuff. One downside of this guy is that he's a bit of a pain in the nuts to land. You can't really land him on grass. I mean, he has this dinky, nice-looking scale undercarriage, but, it's not going to do anything on grass. That's the problem. So whatever you do. I mean, I hit the ground with my wing there, but I don't mind doing that because I think hitting the ground with one wing at low speed is probably better than hitting the ground with the wheels at low speed. The wheels, you see, are... they're these little wheels with pants, and these pants are not very robust. I've already broken one of them. Honestly, if I could easily change that undercarriage, I would. I know it looks nice. It's a real nice scale-looking undercarriage. But you see, it's not that easy. It's very well constructed with, carbon braces and everything here. There's no real easy way of replacing it without really starting to butcher things. So I don't really want to replace it, but on the other hand, it really does not work on the grass.
Throttle cut off.
I like the guy's little scarf. His scarf blowing in the wind.
Throttle cut on.
But, yeah, I mean, that's the one downside for me, because I've got to fly him off grass. Well, I took him off the table. I'm not going to land him on the table. And he's really pretty much impossible to in any sensible way land him on grass. If you did land him evenly on the wheels, he'd just flip over upside down, basically, because the wheels would just catch. So what else are you going to do? Land him in the long grass? Or do some sort of ugly thing where you put one wing down first like I did there? I mean, it's hard to say. Anyway, let's hope this camera's working. I don't know. It's a bit hard to tell because it doesn't flash a LED when it's recording, which seems to me a silly arrangement. So what's the bottom line on this little Kalima camera, if you call it that, the SQ11?
Well, I mean, you got to allow it. Only cost me 1770 delivered, more or less. The Mobius cost me about $90, 89 cents delivered. So the Mobius was 5 times the price of this. The Mobius is a much better camera. There's no doubt about it. But you could buy 5 of these for the price of a Mobius. There are a number of things I don't like about it at the moment, apart from the fact the video quality isn't terrific. It's adequate, but not terrific. It's clearly not as good, anywhere near as good as the Mobius, the video quality. One thing I don't like about it is that when you turn it on, the LED comes on to show you what mode you're in: blue for 720, blue and red, so purple for 1080, and red for picture mode. And then you press the power button to start it recording, and the LED flashes a couple of times, then it goes out. So when it's recording, there's no light on at all. So it looks exactly the same as when it's off. So how do you know whether it's off or it's recording? It's very hard to tell. And then then to stop it recording, you press the power button again, and the light comes on again. But how do you know whether you don't really know whether what you've done is just turned it on or stopped it recording? It's singularly confusing. I can't see how any sane engineer would ever design anything like that. It just makes no sense whatsoever. So I'm pretty sure it's turned off now. I hope so. I think so. But it could be recording because it looks exactly the same. And then the other thing about it is it has a motion detection mode. Supposedly you turn the motion detection mode on by holding the mode button down for 3 seconds. Now, I never did that, not deliberately anyway. I certainly didn't try to do that. All I did was, I tried to turn it off by holding the power button down. It says if you hold the power button down, if you can make any sense of the instructions, which are very hard to understand because they're written in some weird version of English. But I gather if you hold the power button down for more than 6 seconds, that's supposed to turn it off, or it's supposed to power itself off after 1 minute if you don't do anything with it. However, for whatever reason, it seems that when I was using it today, after I thought I powered it off. I held the power button down until the light flashed and went out, and I thought I'd turned it off. But apparently it had gone into motion detection mode, so it recorded another 8 videos while I was sort of carrying it round in my pocket, in my case and things, which were all, of course, completely pointless, because they were sort of just dark shapes and whatever, with bits of sound. I don't, and as I say, I certainly didn't, I'm sure I did not hold the mode button down for 3 seconds to put it into motion detection mode, so... The bottom line is it's hard to tell what the heck mode it's in, whether it's recording, since its general way of showing it's recording is to do nothing, exactly the same as if it's turned off. It's like the Monty Python sketch about the man putting the brick to sleep. I mean, how do you know whether it's asleep or not? I mean, so I am less than thrilled, and the video quality is not that great anyway. But then again, it's less than $18 delivered, so... I don't know. And the other thing about it is it's not, I haven't weighed it, but it's not all that light. Now, the Mobius isn't light either. The Mobius I basically use as a hat cam and things, but I'm not that wild about mounting the Mobius on a plane. You can mount the Mobius on a plane, but, it's got to be a reasonably substantial plane because the Mobius weighs about 1.5 ounces. This thing probably doesn't weigh quite that much, but I imagine it weighs over 1 ounce. It's not light, despite it's much smaller than the Mobius, but it seems to be denser. Anyway. It's certainly an economical option if you want something that records. I am a bit dubious about whether it really records 1080, and it claims to have a 12 megapixel picture mode. I definitely don't think that's true. It may save big files, but I don't think it's actually sampling at anything like that rate. And it's hard to know what the limitation is with them. It's a very tiny, tiny lens as well. It also has an infrared mode, which I haven't even tried. Although I wasn't expecting it to be particularly useful. I mean, those little things around the lens are supposed to be infrared lamps that shine infrared, but they're obviously not going to project very far, so it's not really going to work unless whatever you're trying to picture is very close to it. The motion detection works, but it works when I didn't want it to. So, and the video quality is adequate, but I would rate it the worst of the cameras that I've got. I've got the Mobius, I've got the EFC721, I've got the drone view, and this. Oh, and the Vivitar. No, this is actually not as bad as the Vivitar, frankly. This is probably better than the Vivitar. What's the Vivitar? That's Vivitar 785 or whatever that I bought from Walmart. Yeah, this actually probably produces better video quality than that little Vivitar. And that Vivitar was more expensive than this. That was about $70 or something. So For the price, it cost me $17.69 Canadian delivered to my door. It took a couple of months to come, but something like that, over a month anyway. From GearBest, I bought it from GearBest. So, value for money wise, it's not bad, but it's not, don't expect. I mean, you don't expect great quality 1080 pixel video from it. Even the 720 pixel, it's supposed to be 720 30 frames per second, but I don't think it's even true 30 frames per second. I think it's just duplicating some frames. So it's it doesn't really perform as high as the specs make it sound as if it should, but then it's very reasonable. As against the Mobius. The Mobius definitely produces true 30, this is the original Mobius, not the Mobius 2, it produces true 30 frames per second, 1080 or 720, and it can produce 60 frames per second, 720, the Mobius. But you can buy 5 of these for the price of a Mobius, so it's, it's a question of what you want to pay for and what you expect.